Hey, Ross Lyon, we know that he was on Footy Classified last night. He went into detail as to why he decided he wasn't getting the right vibe about the Essendon job. This is what he had to say.
Danger or safety, and I just didn't go to... It just didn't feel right. And there's nothing wrong with that, does it? That's just a personal judgment. It's not even about going through the process. It's like ultimately they're still working through a lot there. If you look at their history, anyone from the outside, and this is what's got to change, in my view, it doesn't make it right, but I think there might be some internal views that people have been there. Matty Knights from the outside didn't work. John Worsfold, even when they made finals, there was noises about John. And then Rutten. So it's like an organ transplant. After 2 years, you get rejected. So I think they've got to get a head around outside of Essendon coming through. That would be something that's been put to me, and I think when that's put to you, I think that's a reasonable assessment.
So I'm trying to understand that. He's saying if an outsider coming into the club isn't as warmly embraced or supported.
That's right. That's pretty much what he's saying. I mean, and that he has spoken to people around the club, not necessarily Essendon people. I'm thinking that he's spoken to people that were there in coaching roles that were outsiders who probably thought that they weren't accepted. Now, you have to take that at face value. If you go back in history, though, you go back a little bit further, like the guy that coached before Matthew Knights was a guy by the name of Kevin Sheedy, who was an outsider, and who was there for 27 years. So there has been some success by getting outsiders in. I think, though, that after Kevin's reign as coach, there has been obviously a succession of coaches that haven't been successful. James Hird obviously was an former Essendon person who got the coaching job. We all know what happened around that time. And then following that, John Worsfold came in to fix that, and then Ben Rutten as well. So he's saying, I hope that's not the case. I hope there are people there in power at Essendon who aren't necessarily thinking that, we've got to go back to Essendon people to fix this.
That's Jordan Lewis and that's Robert Walls, and that's their coaching selection panel has been, I think, specifically put together to and identified that as an outside perception.
I agree with that. But then at some point it is a board decision who they go with as their next coach.
Yeah, but if you're Robert Walls and you're Jordan and whoever, I think Simone McKinnon, whoever else is on the and they go through their process and make their recommendation and present that to the board, and the board says no, well then everything that Ross Lyon's worried about is 100% true. So let them do their job. I think Ross Lyon's not going to coach again. That's the way I'm reading this. Because well, anyway, that's my read on it.
Okay.
I don't think he'll coach again. He's had a lot of opportunity. He's been burned a bit, I think, by the Carlton experience, whatever the case. But the longer you're out, the less likely he is to be shoehorned straight back into a senior coaching role, which would appear to be the way that he wants, not the way that he wants to, but the way that he would see him come back to coaching.
I agree with that. The longer you're out of the game is the key point there. Do you think, though, that given his record, his football record as a coach, he should be then put through the same process as others?
Not from the scratch, which having read the articles today, Josh Marnie said, look, we don't need you to be involved in the absolute start of it. For those that haven't, we got more respect for you than that. But he's been out long enough now that he needs to go and present, and I would think, and say, this is my philosophy on footy, and this is how I would coach, and this is what I've seen change since I last coached, and therefore this is the way that I'll be going. All that stuff is 100%. I don't think it's the longer he's out, and I've got great respect for him, but the longer he's out, and this is a bit of the Mark Robinson theory from last night, which I've read, is that the less inclined people will go, here, come and take our club on.
No, I agree with that. I agree with that too. Brad Scott, there's conflicting reports. One is that Scott has said no, he wouldn't be interested. And then Caroline Wilson went on the program last night and said that he still is interested in the possibility of coaching. Would you be approaching him?
Yeah, he would be absolutely worthy of presenting. Not to just say, here's a coaching job if you want.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying the same, putting him through the same process as Ross Lyon. And that is that, okay, when they get to the pointy end of it and they've got 5 candidates, then you bring him in if he's interested.
Yep. You?
Yeah, I do. I do. I think his record at North Melbourne really stands up.